All right, next question. You're stuck on a deserted, oh my gosh, deserted island. You're stuck
Whoa,
on a
no.
deserted island. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's deserted.
Deserted island. And you have to choose one of your former teammates to be on the island with you. Who are you choosing and why?
Okay, if we're going for like sustainability, I'm bringing.
The Meg Show is on full display in the dome. Let's go!
The Megan to Megan Show continues. Carney to Tyrell.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Meg Show, episode 2, week 2, and what a crazy week 2 that we just experienced. Didn't know if it could get better from week 1, and it did for week 2. And there's a lot of games we got to talk about, a lot to get through, so let's jump right into it.
Sounds good. All right, so we had Georgetown at Towson on Wednesday, February 14th. Georgetown won 13-5. Fairly easy game for them. Handled them pretty well. Didn't have much trouble against Towson. Did have a huge second quarter. They scored 7 goals and held Towson just to 0 goals. Draw controls fell in Georgetown's favor, 15-6. Makes it pretty easy to win a game when the draw control is that big of a difference. The Hoyas did take 35 shots, Towson only taking 18. So I don't know. I feel like they get some more shots up. Maybe that score gets a little bit higher, game's a little bit closer. But with 35 shots, probably going to have more opportunity to score there. But yeah, Georgetown attacker number 2, Gracie Driggs had 5 goals on 9 shots. Pretty great shooting day for her. 9 shots is a lot of opportunity to get the ball in the back of the net and to be able to capitalize on 5 of them. You're above 50%. And then Georgetown attacker number 34, Kylie Hazen, 3 assists and 1 goal, 2 ground balls. So big day for her, coming in at 6 points. And then Towson midi number 8, Milana. Oh no, Milana
Ziz
Zizakovic.
Zizakovic.
She had 3 of the 5 goals for Towson. So hat trick for her on the day, getting over half the goals for the team. Towson goalie Joe Torres had 12 saves. Wareheim of Georgetown had 5. So yeah, pretty even matchup. I guess I wouldn't say even, but I thought it'd be an even matchup. I thought that could be a lot closer. But Georgetown handled them pretty well. Kristen Carr's first season with Towson, so still getting into the groove of things over there, figuring it out, getting that chemistry built up. And then on clears, pretty even. Probably the closest stat of the day. Hoyas 18 and 18 on clears, 18 for 18. Towson 16 for 18. So both them clearing the ball pretty well.
Yeah, I feel like you said, if you're taking 35 shots, compared to 18 shots, you're going to have a good day. Those shots are going to fall. So big game for Georgetown. That's awesome. And then moving on, we had Cal at Lemoyne, and congratulations to Lemoyne, your
Let's
first Division
go.
1 win. That is so huge, so awesome. Congrats to Liz, Riley Donahue, and Adriana. That's huge for you guys over there. So pumped to our Cuse neighbors over there.
Oh yeah.
For them, they had their midfielder, number 13, with 5 goals on 7 shots. That's an amazing shooting day for her. She should probably have the ball more often moving forward. And then their defender, you have 5 caused turnovers, 3 ground balls. When you win the caused turnovers in a game, it's huge. It's big momentum for your team, big for your defense, gives them a lot of confidence, gives the offense a lot of momentum moving forward to push the ball and put the ball in the back of the net. So huge day for them. So happy for Lemoyne. Can't wait to see what they're going to do throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think they have an in-state rivalry coming up against Cornell, so that'll be a good test for them. I think Cal was a good warm-up. They handled them pretty well at 96, so I'm excited to see how they do against Cornell. And then,
And then this game,
wow.
yeah, wow. So this is a huge matchup. We had Northwestern at Notre Dame. And if you are a lacrosse fan, you watch women's lacrosse, this game, it was on our radar, was on your radar if you follow us. This game was one that we're seeing a top 10 matchup. Obviously, we know top 10 matchups at this level, they're going to be competitive. You're going to be seeing the best of the best playing each other, which is so awesome to see, especially so early in the season, because you kind of get to see what your team's made of early on as you're kind of still working through some kinks, maybe building up some more chemistry amongst players on the field. So for this game, we picked Northwestern to win. Notre Dame proved us wrong. 14-10, the Fighting Irish take down the defending national champions. Meg, what did you see
I
in this game?
love I love when our picks are wrong, honestly. I would like to hope, which I know this just like isn't probably the case, or at least not yet, but I would love if these girls are like listening to the podcast or like see our picks and they're like, yeah, right, like we're gonna prove them wrong. Which I doubt that crosses their mind at all. But I do love like a game like this. We were confident Northwestern was gonna win, and I love that Notre Dame won. But yeah, that was an awesome game to watch. It was very surprising that it wasn't like a one goal game. Like it was 14-10. They won. It wasn't, oh, they got lucky at the very end, they won the draw or whatever it was. Like they fully won. They fully beat Northwestern. So good for Notre Dame. That was very fun. Looking at the highlights though, like the clips, whether it's on social media or just online, just the scoring plays from the game, looked like Northwestern was a little sleepy. They looked just not on their toes, not ready. I don't know. Notre Dame is a very fast, a lot of cuts, a lot of feeding offense and team. So they capitalized on it and they handed Northwestern a loss. And I love that. That was awesome. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
no, that was a big big win for Notre Dame. That's going to give them a ton of confidence moving forward. And I think with Notre Dame too, I talked about this with Loyola, but Notre Dame when we were playing was also one of those teams you go into the game and you know you're going to get
mhm,
a huge fight
yeah,
out of them. You know they want to win and they play like it. And you saw that in that game. They really came out, they played hard. They did super well with their draw. Their draw, they were kind of all over the place, which is something when you do scout, you do know that they're going to be an aggressive draw team. Those 50-50 balls are going to be an absolute battle when you're going into them. So if you don't win the draw clean, you got to hustle to get the ball off the ground from them. And
yeah,
something else that um which is what was their draw control stats? They won 20.
20
Yeah,
to
so
8.
Notre Dame doubled them on the draw controls, which,
Yeah.
as we've mentioned before, it's not like win the draw, rule the world, but it's a huge piece of it. So being able to kind of double what Northwestern was winning on the draw, that's going to put you in a really good position to have a veteran offense like that, be able to create those opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net.
I mean, shit, if you need to watch some film to see how to beat Northwestern on the draw, this is the game to watch. They smoked them.
Yeah, and another big piece of it that game that like watching it or kind of visualizing it, talking about it. We've talked about it previously, but turnovers are killer. You want to limit your turnovers as much as possible. And so for Northwestern, kind of a rough day having 21 turnovers. Kind of you want to keep your turnovers. I know like when we were playing a goal was like keeping it below like 10, was it? 10 turnovers a game, something like
Yeah.
that? Yeah, something like that because
Yeah.
the more
10
turnovers,
at
the more
most.
opportunities you're giving the other team to score. So having 21 turnovers, that's tough. And then losing the draws like that as well. It just wasn't Northwestern's day. And Notre Dame came out and they were like, hey, we're Notre Dame. Do not sleep on us. This is a good year. And we've talked about
Literally.
this before, just in previous years. Notre Dame has always had such talented players. They brought a lot of talented players to their program, but they were just never really able to kind of get over that hump, get over that hill to kind of push them through those playoffs. And this team, I think, not to, knock on wood right now, I think that they are poised to make a very decent playoff run this year and go further than we've seen them go in over 5 years at least.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to them. And then the people who we thought were going to show up showed up. So kind of seeing them. And then someone we didn't really talk about it's one of their attackers. Her name's Jackie Wolak. Apologies if that's how you say it, if I'm saying it wrong. But she has been, I think, an underrated player for Notre Dame just because she's been kind of surrounded by Casey and Madison. So, and her name's always been in the mix, but she hasn't really been someone that's been super, super highlighted in my opinion. But I think she deserves all the props moving forward. She is a threat to dodge, a threat to shoot, a threat to feed. She's very, very versatile on offense. So kind of locking her down is definitely something that's difficult. And we saw Northwestern struggle with that. She took 13 shots. She had a couple goals, couple assists on the day, which proved to be a piece to the puzzle to win on that day.
Yeah. Yeah, she finished with 6 points, 4 goals, 2 assists against the defending national champions. So not a bad day for her. Turnovers, you mentioned 21-15. That is crucial. It's going to be tough to win a game when there's that much of a difference. And then fouls. Northwestern had 32 fouls. That is insane. Notre Dame had 17, still a lot, but when you're comparing those two numbers, 17 is nothing. 32 fouls is a crazy number. I can't even wrap my head around that. And then shots, Notre Dame had 36, Northwestern only took 20. Jackie Wolak took 13 shots herself, so she was not afraid to shoot. Good for her. It's a lot of confidence there. And then Notre Dame also held Izzy Skane to 2 goals the entire game and very few touches in the second half. She was awfully quiet out there. And then Notre Dame went into the half ahead by 2, was able to come out on top at the end of the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we've seen this Northwestern team play. They're very, very talented. Wasn't their day. And we've played in their indoor facility before. That's also not to
Oh
put
my
any
God.
blame on environment, but that's not the easiest place to play in. It's definitely home field advantage when you can like practice in there all the time.
For sure.
So yeah, the way it's kind of set up in there is kind of crazy, but
It's
better
awful.
than playing out. It's better than playing outside, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
um, definitely tough day for Northwestern. Very happy for Notre Dame, and we saw them bump up in the rankings too, which we'll talk about later. But such a fun game to watch. It was super intense. You heard the crowd in there. You felt the energy. The team, the bench was fired up. So overall, have a day, Notre Dame. Have a day.
Yeah. All right, on to the next. Florida at UNC on Saturday. UNC came out on top 19-10. I will say, I turned the game on second quarter, I think, and I thought it was going to be a lot closer at the end, maybe go the other way. It was tied 8-8 at halftime. And I guess UNC said, "Nah, we're good." They put up 11 more goals and Florida only put up one more, or two more. But yeah, I thought that was going to be a lot closer. UNC outscored Florida 11-2 in the second half, outshot them 21-7. You're not going to win a game taking 7 shots, I'll tell you that for free. Um, but yeah, that was a crazy game. I was hoping it'd be a lot closer at the end, but makes sense. UNC sort of pulled ahead.
Yeah, and we kind of saw this last week with Florida as well when they were matched up with Loyola. It was a tight 3 quarters. They kind of hung in there. And kind of towards the end of the game, we kind
Mhm.
of see the other teams pulling away. So for Florida, figuring out that third and fourth quarter, that's going to be huge for them moving forward. Being able to keep the game tight or kind of take the lead, that's going to be their next steps to being successful. But I think just kind of giving up all these shots kind of in the second half is going to be an issue for them that I'm sure they're working through. They have a very talented coaching staff there. So don't be surprised if
Yeah.
we see a turnaround by Florida. It's only week 2 here.
All right. Let's go, Michigan. Denver at Michigan. Michigan won 8-4. Let's go. I picked Michigan. Meg picked Denver. Loser. Michigan won. That was so fun. I'm so happy for them. Love Denver, but what a great matchup. I feel like they're very like even. Um, but yeah, that could have gone either way. I will say at the very last second I changed my pick to Michigan and I'm so glad I did. But yeah, Michigan came out on top 8-4. Let's see, it was their second time in program history beating a top 5 opponent. Good for them. That's so exciting. And it was home. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Denver did hold Michigan's leading scorer, Jill Smith to 1 shot. So defensively, not terrible. They just didn't score more goals.
Yeah, that
And when
is
you don't score
that
more
is
goals, you're not going to win.
Yeah, no, if you don't if you don't score more goals, you will not win. That is so true, Meg. And I
That's
think
how it is, kids.
um and that game, kind of looking back on it, I think the biggest piece of the puzzle for Michigan was winning that first quarter. For Denver, something we've seen over the past few years and definitely last year, a lot of their identity is built within their defense. So they put not a lot of pressure on them, but they feel very, very strongly like they feel very, very comfortable with them making those stops. So for Denver to put up 4 goals in that first quarter compared to Denver's 2, I kind of feel like, although that's like in, first quarter, anything can happen, I kind of feel like that set the stage for Michigan a little bit because as we've seen with Denver, they are more let's make stops on defense to bring the ball back on offense, where if you can kind of push early on them and kind of put up those points as Michigan did, it puts you in a really good spot moving forward for the rest of the game. So I think well done by Michigan on that point too. But not to give no credit to Denver's offense at all, because Michigan's goalie had a career high day. So
I want
good for
Aaron
her.
O'Grady's autograph.
Good for her. Junior goalie. She's been backup for 2 seasons. She's had 3 starts. In her third start, I would assume this is the third start, 13 saves against a number within the top 5 team. That is
Yeah, a
absolutely
Final Four
huge. And
team.
that was so, so good for Michigan's confidence, their momentum. To have that many saves, I think that's a phenomenal job by her. So it's not saying that Denver didn't have their shots, because they did. Erin over here, though, just came up huge. So lots of props to
Shout out
her.
Aaron.
Shout out Erin. That's a really, really awesome job. And congrats, Michigan. They're also a very good team. They're also a sneaky team that I'd be concerned to play if I had to see them, whether it's not now, but down the line in playoffs. That's someone I'd be like a little bit like, whoa, make sure we're not overlooking this team.
Whoa. Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. Aaron O'Grady. Love you, girl. Shout out. Nice game. Just kidding. I don't really know. I actually don't know her at all. But wow. I'm gonna keep an eye on her now. Last game of the weekend. Wah wah wah. Maryland
This one
beat Syracuse
hurt.
in overtime. Come on, Syracuse, let's go. Split together.
I think it caused for it was an exciting game, though. It wasn't exactly the most
Yeah.
high scoring game, but it was close. You got to see an OT game. Sure, Maryland won, and that's amazing. But, I think that's a great game to watch in general. And I think across the board, when looking at like the stat lines and all that stuff, the game was pretty evenly matched. So you're seeing the kind of draw controls were about the same, shots were about the same. Cuse led and caused turnovers over Maryland by a couple. But otherwise than that, it was very, very, very similar. And I think when it comes down to it, you do get the OT, game's tied, goes to overtime. You get a possession off the draw. I think Cuse did a good job. They called that timeout there. They set themselves up. Didn't really work out. Maryland went down. They had an opportunity as well. But then Cuse got the ball back. And I think in overtime, it's sudden, it's, golden goal, right? So every possession that you have, and even though overtime it's so limited, you really have to make them count. So you get the ball twice in overtime, you gotta score. You gotta score. And I
You gotta score.
love the orange so much. But I think that game, it's a top 10 matchup. 2 very, very good teams. Overtime game. So much excitement, so much energy. The dome was great. Had the opportunity to be there. The fans were awesome. So much energy. Unfortunately, didn't come out with the win. But Maryland, they did it. And they've got some talented players out there. They've got the Clevenger sisters who are out there who are a big part of their win. And then someone else who came in pretty highly ranked was Corey Edmondson. She had a phenomenal day for herself, pop off. She wasn't afraid to go to goal. She was making those cuts across the 8. And as I mentioned, she came in pretty highly ranked. We didn't really see a ton of her last year. We saw a little bit of glimpses. So I feel like with this game, that's huge for her. And moving forward, I'm excited to see more of what she can do. And then overtime goal, Hannah Lubecker. Who's surprised? I'm not surprised. She's an an
Not me.
amazing player. Not surprised. Amazing player. So hats off
Should
to
probably
them.
guard her.
That was a really, really fun game to watch. And it'll be exciting to see them moving forward. It's all exciting moving forward, just especially with week 2, because teams will get better. They will start clicking more. You'll see a lot of different things come out of them. So it was a really fun weekend of lacrosse to watch. We saw a lot, and with that, the rankings that we saw come out, talk about a shift.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about them. I don't know if it's like the bias in me. I don't know. I hate the rankings. It's so annoying. People aren't playing hard teams, and some people are. I guess the time will come when they do, but skewing the rankings, and it bothers me.
Do keep in mind week 2. Week 2. Week 2.
Meg, these rankings
So
matter each and every week. They matter so
okay,
much.
you're right. They really mean a lot. No, but
Just kidding.
it's exciting though to see the shift up. We're seeing a lot of teams that are kind of moving around in the top 10 right now, at least, that we haven't seen in a very long time. It's been pretty consistent as a top 10 for a couple of years. So seeing teams, JMU moving up the ranks, we got Michigan in the top 10. It's exciting to see. So I'll take these week
Dang,
2
why did
rankings.
Loyola
I
get
love it.
bumped down?
Because Michigan beat Denver.
Just so everyone knows, James Madison almost lost to UConn 15-14, and they're ranked number 3, so I don't know who's making these rankings. Also, Stony Brook low-key almost lost to Dartmouth. Maybe they put in like backups, but they only won by like 7.
What?
Who else is on here?
Only?
It's Dartmouth. Nothing against Dartmouth. Love you guys.
You
But like
remember when we lost to Dartmouth in fall ball?
that's fall ball. This is week 2 of the season. So different. Duh.
Okay, it is a little different, but you
Um,
can't totally. And also, Meg, 7 goals isn't just beating somebody. Like, if you're just beating somebody, that's 1 or 2 goals and you're getting by. No, 7 goals, that's a win. That's a beat. That's a win.
yeah, these rankings are just so interesting. I want to know who makes them, what goes into the thought process of them. I want to be
Meg,
on
we should
that
just have you
committee.
make your own
Yeah,
rankings and we can
just
put them
leave it
out
to
so
me,
we can see.
guys. And I hope we get a lot of hate. We can just
You
start
want
some
hate?
arguments. I want to
Ooh,
listen to this. I want to make a ranking, and W Lax Nut needs to make a ranking, and we'll compare.
wow. Those are bold words. Those are
W Lax
bold
Nut has been
words.
awfully quiet this season. Maybe that's just because, like, I don't know, we're not playing, so I don't see those tweets. Whoever runs that account, please let me know. I need to have a word with them.
I would also
Anyways,
love
we
to
can move
know.
on from that. I like need to know who runs that account. It's got
Meg
to be a
will not
Northwestern
rest
fan.
until we know.
I lose sleep over that account. Never mind, I can't say it. But anyways, if you know who runs it, let me know. You can put an anonymous tip in, however you want. We don't have to say any names, but let me know who runs that account. I'm so curious. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, please go look at Twitter and look at W Lax Nut.
I don't.
Yeah, W Lax Nut. All right, upcoming games. Lemoyne, like we mentioned earlier, want to keep an eye on them, see how they do in their first season in Division 1. They play Cornell. Little in-state rivalry, make it fun for them. Yes.
Sorry, I just want to backpack. I mean, backtrack,
Back.
backtrack, backtrack to the JMU UConn game. Oh God. I want to backtrack to that game because I want to give a lot of credit to UConn. They made a huge run in that second half, which brought the game up to that kind of 1 goal difference. They had an opportunity at the end to tie it to go into overtime. JMU makes the stop. But if I'm UConn, I'm feeling really good about myself. That's a team that has a lot of fight. You know, they're coming in, they're playing a top 10, top 5 team. And you know, you lose by 1, but you're right there. I think that's a lot of confidence moving forward. So even though losing, no one likes losing, I would take this loss and run with it and build from it because I think that's so, so huge for them. But that was just my one little snippet that I wanted to add about that.
Thank you.
Of
Everyone
course.
will be glad to hear that. I'm looking at these rankings that we have here. We have USA Lacrosse Magazine's ranking side by side to IWLCA, basically NCAA lacrosse ranking. They are so different. On one of them, you have Richmond at 18, and then the other one, you don't even have them in top 20. And then you have, didn't Colorado just lose to someone? And then you have Princeton.
Colorado's 20 and 19.
You have Princeton in one ranking at 18, and then they're not even in the top 25 in the other ranking, unless I'm blind, but for what I'm seeing, these are just so different.
It'd be cool if we could all just get behind one ranking and stick with it.
For real.
But I understand why.
Like, how are they so different?
I understand.
Wow, I'm so curious.
Meg, you're literally about to come out with your own rankings. I can't wait.
No, I'm going to. Anyways, all right. Upcoming games. Like we said, Lemoyne, Cornell, little in-state rivalry. Another one, Loyola Hopkins on Wednesday. And then Saturday, another full slate of games. We got Duke, Clemson, Cuse, Notre Dame. That'll be a good matchup. Maryland, Florida. Florida is looking to avoid their first 0-3 start in program history, so good luck to Florida against Maryland. Maybe they'll figure out something from last weekend till this weekend. Rutgers, Army, Stanford, Vanderbilt. Stanford was just on the. Oh, that might be at Stanford. I was gonna say those poor West Coast teams travel to the East Coast and are over here for so long. Does anyone ever go out to them? I'm curious. Is that at Stanford or at Vanderbilt? Let's see.
Yeah, Stanford's been over on the East Coast for a little while now. I'm assuming it's almost time for them to go back.
They were at Virginia, at Yale, at Holy Cross, all in a row. Went back to Stanford today or yesterday after Holy Cross, and now they're coming back for Vanderbilt, and then Davidson, and then Army. Wow, they probably those girls. I wonder if they get
It's a
all
lot
those
of travel.
miles.
And also, you got Stanford joining the ACC next year. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting with their traveling as well. Jealous though of the people that do get to go to Stanford to play.
Yeah.
That will be cool. That will be cool.
Yeah, I wish we got to go to Stanford. That would have been fun. All right, Stanford, Vanderbilt, USC, Michigan. Then we have Rutgers, Monmouth, another interstate match. Interstate match. Rutgers has Tewaaraton Watch, Cassidy, Spillis, Cassidy. They have Cassidy. So that game is Wednesday. Go girl. And then JMU Towson. JMU should be able to handle them. Towson is figuring it out. We'll just say that. Ohio State, Denver. Ohio State hasn't really been tested yet. Denver has seen a loss that we just talked about. So this can be a good bounce back game for them. Shouldn't have an issue there. Cal versus Lindenwood, 8 p.m. on Friday. Cal lost to Lemoyne. Lindenwood is coming off a big ACC win, so maybe they got some momentum behind them.
Yeah, no, for Lindenwood, for those of you who are hearing this and are like, who's Lindenwood? Where are they from? Lindenwood came from Division Two, so similar to Lemoyne, like this season. Lindenwood came into Division One after winning their national championship 2 or 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago. I'm going to say 2 years ago. Came to D1 2 years ago after they won their national championship. Congrats to Lindenwood. Came to Division One last season. We didn't really hear a ton from them. I think there is a little bit of that adjustment when you're kind of moving amongst divisions. So they were kind of adjusting through that season. This season they're coming in. They're in the A Sun. They are currently 3-0. They played Louisville, who's an ACC team, and kind of just said, "Hey, we're here. Pay attention to us. We deserve some props here." And they had a big game for them. They won 12-9. Louisville lost 9-12. They had a really big first quarter, really big third quarter for them. So congrats to them. That's a huge, huge win to come in and beat an ACC team. So that was really, really great to see. And then moving forward, we got UMBC playing American. One of our former teammates is a
Woo!
coach there, Coach Sierra. I don't know what they call
At
you there
UMBC.
at UMBC. Best of luck. Can't wait to tune into that one. And then we got Penn State playing Princeton, which I think that'll be a really good game. I really do. On
Yeah,
Saturday.
that'll be a good matchup. What time's that game? I gotta make sure I mark that one on my calendar as well to tune in. That one gets pen as well, not pencil. All right. Those are the games that we got coming up. Full slate of games on Saturday. So if you guys don't have anything to do, now you do. I know what I'll be doing, watching those games. All right, cool. So the latest news. What's going on in the lacrosse world? You might be wondering, what's the latest tea? What is the top headlines? What is the
Just
latest
what's going
news?
on?
What is going on in lacrosse? We're 2 weeks in. Things are starting to get mixed up. Start off, Katrina Dowd gets her first win as head coach. She's over at Brown with Taylor Gate. She also made history already. First game, made history. They beat number 22, UMass. So that win was Brown's first win against a top 25 opponent since March 2020. So good for her. First game in, making history, open their season with a win. So yeah, I'm excited for her, see how they do. I think they just got another win. Yeah, they just played
Yeah, they're
Albany.
yeah,
So
they're
that's a
2
good
and 0
win for
right
them.
now. Katrina Dowd was such a phenomenal player, such a good coach. I'm really,
Mhm.
really excited to see
She's got so much
where
wisdom,
this
I bet.
I'm sure. I'm really excited to see where this Brown team and where this program's going to go in the future. So, huge congrats to Brown. That was awesome.
All right, next, Stanford. Stanford's freshman. In case you guys didn't see on Lacrosse Extra, I don't know. Someone needs to check in on her, see if she's okay, mentally, because she let some anger out at the end of their game against Yale and just fully decked a Yale player. I would love to know why. What was going on? What was going on in her head that said, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that.
I
And
The game was over.
the game's over. I get emotions kind of get high sometimes. But the thing is, I get emotions get high, but you can't really justify that action. There's no way that doesn't benefit you, your team. You're out for, I think she's out for the next game too, right?
Yeah, so I guess she got the red card. The game was over. So yeah, I think that affects next game.
Yeah, so we'll see if we see her back out there, but that's
Um,
just something you
yes,
kind of hate to see. You can't.
she had to watch the next game from the stands, actually. I do
Oh,
know that.
yeah.
I
So
do know that. That's not
crime and
fun.
punishment, man. And it's just you don't want to see that happen to a player. You don't want to see your teammate do something like that. So hopefully, for her, that's a learning lesson, and we never see that again. Um, because red cards, they're the worst. They're the worst,
Yeah.
and normally the action that warrants it is worse than the worst. I don't even know how to describe it. So, learning curve.
Freshman, not an excuse. But that was crazy. Lacrosse Extra on Instagram got the video up. So if you're curious, that's where you can find it. That's where I saw it. Maryland fully sweep Syracuse, men and women. Not
Both
fun. Both in
both
overtime.
both overtime games, which led for exciting lacrosse.
Oh,
However, overtime losses
yeah.
just sting a little bit. They
Yeah.
really do.
Definitely great lacrosse though. Great for the fans. Great. Yeah. Really good TV
Yeah,
lacrosse. ESPN.
the
Yeah,
dome
how
was
was that, Meg?
the
You were
dome was
there.
yeah, the dome was rocking. I think we broke an attendance record.
I think so too.
Yeah, we broke an attendance record for the women and men's games. There was seriously a ton of people there. So many families were there, so many teams were there. There was someone behind us. I can't remember who it was, but they were all wearing like the same thing, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder who that is," but I didn't really pay attention. Um, yeah, so there's a ton of people there, so many kids screaming. They were really getting into it. If you haven't been to a game in the Dome, I would highly suggest going. It's a lot of fun for men's and for women's. So whatever game you do choose to go to, it's a blast. Especially when you bring in such great competition like Maryland from this past weekend, you're going to get a big show out from both teams. Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. Unfortunate ending for Cuse, but awesome for Maryland. So it was a good weekend for Maryland. What can you say? Good
Yeah,
weekend.
I'm sure they had fun. Whatever. That's so annoying, but good job, Maryland. JMU beat UConn by 1. We already covered that. Virginia just squeaked by Princeton 14-12. Um, Virginia's got a little bit of slow start. I mean, it's a win, but or Princeton is saying, "Hey, look at us." So, I guess we'll have to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, but UVA's had a strong start to their season so far.
Yeah.
They've played some good competition so far, come out with some wins. So even though this is a 2-goal game, you can't discredit Princeton either.
Yeah.
They're
Princeton is
very,
a good
very
team.
they're a very good team. I think they're always really in the like Ivy Conference championship game.
Yeah.
So cannot just look past them.
No. Cannot do that. Lindenwood beat Louisville. We mentioned that, so they got a big ACC win. I have a question. I was thinking about this. Put it in our
Yes.
notes. Do you think there will become a time where maybe soon, maybe not, maybe never, behind the back shots, will those ever just become normal? Not cool, not Sports Center top 10, just because now it's so often, it's so frequent. I don't know.
I think it fully depends on the situation the shot happens in and how it looks and what the celebration's like. I
Hmm.
think if you kind of just throw a casual behind the back, but you're up by like 10,
Hmm. That's,
it's not going to really mean anything.
yeah.
But if you score behind the back and you throw your stick and you really get into your celly, I think that really adds towards the push towards the Sports Center type.
Mhm.
Given I'm not at Sports Center, so I couldn't tell you how they choose it, but I think when it comes down to it, it's like situation, how the goal happens, and how you celebrate. I think that's big pieces of why, because it really is becoming so much more
Yeah, it's
the
so
norm that we're seeing it now. But they're always exciting to watch,
for
and
sure.
definitely big momentum boosts for the team that scores it. So I don't think I think it is normal. I just think there are certain ones that
Yeah,
look great.
just something I was curious about.
Yeah, we'd
Another thing.
love to hear the feedback from you
Yeah. What
guys.
do you
If
guys think?
you
Are behind the backs just not that cool anymore because it happens so often? I think you made a good point though. Like, didn't Casey Choma have one against
Mhm.
Northwestern? Like
Yep.
that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you're just destroying a team and you do it, it's like,
Oh, and then Jill Smith from Michigan had that like
yes,
diving
she did
behind the
have
back.
one.
That one was cool too. So see what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like very situational what you're
yeah,
going to see on the Sports Center with that, but
very
um
true.
that was really cool by Jill Smith. That was cool.
Yeah. Okay. Another thing I was thinking this weekend, why are all the good games, top matchups, all scheduled at the same time. Men and women. How is that going to grow the sport? How are people supposed to watch multiple games at once? Why are they all at 12 o'clock?
Yeah, I think this has been a big debate for a while now. Definitely, we saw Taylor Cummings talked about it a lot. Kylie
Mhm.
O'Malley talked about it a lot. Um, just the way the games are scheduled, how they're timed out. And I guess it has to do with how they're being shown across the platforms that they're put on, whether it's like ESPN or, ACC Network or something. But if there was another way that
Yeah,
games that were these awesome games didn't have to play at the same time, that would just be a perfect world.
that would be ideal, that's for sure. And to go off of that, Unleashed, for those that are new here, new to women's lacrosse, new to the sport, Unleashed is a, how would you describe what they are? Camp? Like they go do camps.
Yeah, it's like a
Like
brand,
a
a lacrosse.
spotlight camp.
Yes.
Um, so they had an all-star game that went on during the PLL Sixes tournament this past weekend, which is great. That's awesome. You're bringing all the top women's lacrosse players together to play in a Sixes all-star game. Great for the fans, great for the followers, great for the growth of the sport. But again, it was in the middle of all these top college matchups that like have more like meaning than this all-star game do. So like why wouldn't we schedule them at different times so everyone can watch it and tune into it? I don't know. Once again, I'm not the one scheduling it. I don't really have say. So if anyone wants my opinion for anything, just come ask.
She'll give it to you. Swear. She
I'm
won't hold
free.
back.
I'm free. I'll tell you my thoughts. Maybe we can find a solution. Um
What?
Another thing I put on our little note sheet is I was watching, what game was I watching? It might have been the Syracuse Maryland men's game or it was a Duke game. I don't know. But I was talking to Meg about this. Imagine if they put the weight on girls' rosters like they do for men's lacrosse. Meg Tyrell, 5'2", weighing in at, and there you go, national
First of
TV.
all, I'm 5'3".
No, you're
Okay.
not.
Yes, I am. Ugh. Not that it really matters, but I am. But yeah, no,
That would be so crazy.
that'd be so crazy. Oh, yeah, I don't even want to think of that. I don't even want to put it out there. I don't even want to think of a world where that could exist. Um, and that's just personal opinion, but yeah, no, I'm good on that. So,
That'd be crazy. Would not want that. But that's okay. It's not a thing, so that's good. Another hot topic, not a hot topic, a hot take, or just like why, I guess. I want to know why. Why do, what is it, like the Pac 12, Big Ten, some of the Big Ten, why do they wear shorts? Everyone else wears skirts. Like, can we just all wear shorts or can we just all wear skirts? I don't get why some do and some don't.
I'm also not sure. I guess it's just preference or what the coaches want
I
or
don't know which one
something,
I
but
would like more.
I've never I mean, I played soccer in shorts, but that was soccer.
I played
I don't
club in shorts.
really?
Yeah,
Oh wait, so did I.
I think most do.
Yeah. Oh, I never really thought about it really. I just kind of
hmm
just did
I think I
whatever.
would like
I
shorts.
think I just did whatever they told me to do. So, I mean, I would play in whatever, so it doesn't really matter,
Yeah,
but
you wouldn't have a choice.
wouldn't have a choice. But
Which
I
one would you
guess
prefer?
probably the skirt. I think the skirt just cuz like spandex and stuff. I don't know. I don't really
Hmm.
know how that makes sense, but in my head it does.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Thanks.
I don't know. I think I would be fine with either. I don't know which one I'd prefer. Shorts would be cool, but I also don't know what it'd be like wearing them. Um, anyways, another thing Jenny Levy made a comment about this past weekend was had to do with like the green cards, man up, man down, but sort of making it to more like men's lacrosse, which I think is a great idea. I think that's the one less thing missing that could make this green card rule better, actually like good in my opinion, is if we so she wanted to know if we should just get rid of 8 meters, which could like mm,
Uh,
I think majority of Florida's goals came from 8 meters. And I think that's what sort of drove that comment or just question from her. But I think what she means is like instead of having an 8 meter, you have a man up, man down possession, just like men's lacrosse. They throw a flag, play ends, ball dies, or whatever, and then they go sit in the box for however long it is, 30 seconds, a minute. Um, I think that'd be fun. I guess it's sort of like the green card. It's just like having both. Um,
I think 8 meters. I think it's just such a specific part of the women's game.
yeah.
I think you see, like I understand what she's saying, but I think with 8 meters, you see a different skill set on
Hmm.
people than you can see
They're
with.
fun. It's like a free throw in basketball. It's like you should be making it, but at the same time, like it's kind of hard to make it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we should get rid of 8 meters, but I do see what she's saying with like a man up, man down if that's the case. But I don't know. I think the 8 meter it showcases players' abilities that are seen differently opposed to just like through normal offense or regularly on the field. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't think we should, but I do see her point of throwing a flag, like kind of like what the men do, and just playing man up, man down like that.
Yeah. Um, Another thing that these are just all my thoughts this weekend while I was just watching women's lacrosse and just I don't know. So I decided to write them down. Another one, actually my last one. So I noticed I don't know where I saw this. I think online. I was reading about the games this weekend. Stony Brook holds 35 consecutive home game wins, which is currently the longest home game win streak in D1 women's lacrosse. I'll just say my thoughts. I don't think they play anyone hard at home. They've never played us at home. That's always at Syracuse. Usually you flop back and forth, home and away. They
Are you
always play us.
complaining?
I would love to play them at Stony Brook and beat them and ruin that streak. But yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna have 35 consecutive home game wins when you're not playing anyone hard.
Yeah, I think that it has to do with their conference too. Like they were in the American East for a long time, which makes sense given location and stuff.
And now what? CAA?
Now they're in the CAA, so they're seeing some more competition there. But I think it's just the history of it is just the conference that they were in.
Interesting.
But also
Interesting.
to look at their grad transfer, Alex Finn, 7 assists. That's huge for Stony Brook for their
Yeah.
offense. They're a big dodging team, dodge to shoot team.
Yeah, that's so true.
So having this transfer come in that can put up 7 assists like that is going to be so huge to watch their offense transform. And obviously you have Ellie Macera who had a 10-point day. Phenomenal.
Obviously.
Of course she
Wouldn't
did.
expect anything less.
Yeah. So that's huge. So moving forward with them as their season goes in, that'll be fun. And watching them play Hughes will be a good matchup too. So that'll be good to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. All right. Question time. Let's get into questions from our followers. Uh-oh. My
What?
dog's barking. Oopsies.
Maverick.
All right. So, as you guys know, we put out on Instagram a week ago, 2 weeks ago, that we have a link in our bio on Instagram where you guys can ask us questions. It's just like a Google form. It's anonymous. You can leave your name if you want. But yeah, we don't know who has asked any of these. You can also ask questions on Spotify, YouTube, comment on Instagram, however you want. But if you have a question, whether it's about Meg and I, our friendship, our journey through college, what we do now, whatever it is, ask it. We're only going to answer a few each episode. We can't answer all of them at once. So we just sort of pick a few that have come in during the week. And then as episodes go on, we'll get around to all of them. So to start off, the first question today, someone asked, if you need a new stick, can you just get one? How available are equipment, cleats, backpacks? Are they more available to impact players than those who may never see the field? Do you think that other divisions like Patriot, Ivy, CAA have it as good? So for Syracuse, I can answer for us. If you need a new stick, yes, you just go get one. There's plenty of extras, plenty of backups. If you want it strung a specific way, they can do that as well. Cleats, if you need new size, if you need a new pair, you can just walk in and get those. It is a bigger school. So it's probably a different experience everywhere, from school to school. Backpacks, we just got one of those. But yeah, those are available, at least for us at Syracuse. I don't know about other schools. I don't want to speak for them, but at least for us, it's available. If you need something, you can go in, ask our equipment manager, Kyle Federley. He is literally the backbone of Syracuse athletics. So if you need something, he's the man. We would just walk in, ask him, and he is very helpful.
Yeah. But to further the rest of the question, I agree with what Meg's saying. It's not like an impact player versus someone who might not see the field. It's everyone kind of gets treated the same. Um, but there are it's like for me, I broke through my cleats just over time because I wore them literally into the ground. Where sometimes you just might not need another pair of cleats, but I think it doesn't really matter whether you're an impact player or someone who doesn't see the field. And I don't think it goes by division. I think it's more individual to the school. So, if your school has the funding for it and they can provide for it, then you can get the equipment that you need, or it'll be a little bit more accessible to you. But yeah, no, for us, we were very fortunate with that. We had Gary Gate, so Gate lacrosse was super accessible
Yeah.
to us. We were able to get any of the equipment that we needed, and the school's partnership with Nike was awesome too. So it really was I think it just depends on the school and depends on the funding that the school gets. I don't think it goes by conferences and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's how it works. If you're not familiar, we just have an equipment room. We walk in, ask what we need, and we're very fortunate and we usually get it. So they're there to help you and make sure you have everything you need and help you be able to compete at the best of your ability. Um, Next question. Do you have any losses that have stuck with you, whether it is because the team had a bad day or you played down to a lower level? If so, did you get a chance to see them again and get that revenge win?
For me, a game that sticks with me, it's actually Maryland, which is kind of ironic. We played them my freshman year in their football stadium and we lost in
Oh
OT.
my God, yeah.
And I remember it because I took a shot during OT and I missed. And then they went down and scored. So that was my first little slap of reality as a freshman. Um,
Slap of reality.
yeah. So that one kind of stuck with me. I don't think we got to see them again that year. We played them the next year though, which was a fun game, but that's probably a loss that'll stick with me, or that does or did stick with me. I don't really think about it all that often anymore, but at the time I did think
You
about
don't
it for
lose
a
sleep over
while.
that game?
Yeah, no, I rest easy, but there was a period of time where I was really down bad about that one, but Reggie, Coach Thorpe, was very positive after that. So that was super helpful, especially as a freshman who made a mistake. Made a mistake.
Oopsies. Um, for me, what game sticks with me?
UVA and
Um,
the ACCs our senior year.
oh my God, at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and we did buzz home.
Oh my God, that was
And I say that because it was 12 hours. It was a long time.
that game was so bad. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just unlocked I don't nightmares. I don't know. Um, yeah, that game was terrible. Worst we've ever played. Also just shouldn't be losing to them. Sorry, UVA, but we shouldn't. Um, Another game would be, I don't know, national championship game against Boston College, but in a different way because I was injured. from my ACL, so like I couldn't play in it, and so we lost to them, but I wasn't playing. But I don't know. It's really hard to describe the feeling, but I wish I could have played in that game. But I don't know. I don't really know
That
what
one
I'm
sits with
saying.
me just because,
Like it's
like,
national championship.
wow, that wasn't that fun. But
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying, or I think I do, where it's like you feel like if you were there, like you could have made an impact or something, just to
Like I
like,
wish I could have helped, but like I was helpless. Like I couldn't do anything.
yeah, no, that totally
Um,
makes sense.
Another game. There's just so many. Like Northwestern Elite Eight, UNC ACC championship game.
Yeah, just so
Um,
everyone knows, when you do lose at the end of your seasons, or if you have a loss
yeah,
that's like, wow, you don't forget. It
yeah,
sits there. I mean, now we don't really think about them, but since you
yeah,
brought this question up, we're gonna get into
yeah.
it.
But like we've also beat Northwestern other times. It just sucks we never did when it mattered. Um, UNC, we beat them on their home field our 5th year. Like this past season, just regular season game. That was so fun. Really, that's core memory that I will hold on to. Beating them on their home field. We ended a streak, I think. Maybe question mark.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes,
I
we
think they
did.
had like a home
Yes, we
game
did.
winning streak.
Hey yo.
Um, but yeah, I think majority of our like you play most teams, I guess not twice in a season, maybe ACC, like it depends, but like we played someone our freshman year, if we lost, like we were going to see them again our sophomore year and like maybe we won, you know? Like I don't know, it's not like we played Northwestern one time randomly our sophomore year and just never got to see them again or like a team like you know what I'm saying? So majority of the teams that we played, we are seeing again later on in our career, later that season. But yeah, definitely the more meaningful ones stick with me. Stony Brook, when we lost to them COVID year, right before it was like our only home loss. Like we were doing so well, and then they beat us at home.
Oh, good point.
That one stung. That was so annoying. That was yeah, that was bad. But then we beat them every other time we've played them. So
So that's how it's that's how it's
yeah,
justified for you.
yeah. I don't know, but I mean that game. That's one that in the moment, like that season, even though COVID happened, but that one was. I remember that was painful.
Yeah, no, there's just a lot. You'll go through a lot as a player if you do go on to play D1, D2, D3, whatever, even club probably, where you will lose and it will not be fun.
Yeah. Next question. You're stuck on a deserted. Oh my gosh, deserted island. You're stuck
Whoa,
on a
no.
deserted island. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's deserted.
Deserted island, and you have to choose one of your former teammates to be on the island with you. Who are you choosing and why?
Okay, if we're going for like sustainability, I'm bringing Anna Horvath.
I was gonna
She's
say
an
that.
she's an ROTC at Syracuse, so I think if I wanted to live, I'm bringing her. But if I was just like, this is the end, I guess. I'm gonna bring some. I'll probably bring. Yeah, no, I'll probably bring. um, no, I'd bring you, but I think we'd just be like two bumps on a log, and
It just yeah.
we'd be tanning.
I probably wouldn't bring you, so you don't have to say me. I mean, like.
I wasn't gonna. I was joking, but I was gonna say I'd bring my sister because she's also pretty
Oh,
reliable. Yeah,
really? Yeah, I guess she kind of is.
yeah.
Um, hmm. If I need to survive, yeah, I'd say Anna because ROTC. Or if I need to survive, I would say who is like wise?
You need wisdom on a deserted island.
Like
You don't
would
need wisdom. You don't need that.
okay, well, this is my turn to answer. I would want someone that like would know how to cook some food or build shelter. And
You
like
know how to cook food.
it's fine getting like down and dirty. I don't really want to go skin a fish and then cook it over a fire. Like
No, I get it.
I don't know who I would pick. Are we talking like current team out of all 5 years? I don't even like that's a lot of people. If we're doing out of all 5 years and I wanted to go and have fun, I'd probably pick like Nicole Levy or something that we could just
Yeah.
not care. Yeah,
Island
a lot.
vibes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I'd probably pick her, and then or like obviously any of our friends. Like that's gonna be fun. But if I'm going out of the box, thinking out of the box here, if I need to survive, I'll probably pick Anna Orbit.
Yeah. Shout out Anna. You are a very talented human being.
All
Anna's funny
right.
too, so you can get both.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like anyone in that class would be fine. Like just doing whatever they need to do to survive, and I would be like, I'm okay. I just don't really want to. I don't know.
Well, hopefully you never end up on a deserted island and we'll be
For
fine.
real. Hopefully, I have to never have to make that decision because clearly it's a tough one for me.
I'm glad you wouldn't choose me.
Like, what would we do? You would just want to
Meg,
like watch TikTok or just like.
we're on a deserted island. I don't have TikTok.
So then you would have to hang out with me. We would just podcast the whole time.
We'd go, I was gonna say if we're surrounded by water, you know where I am.
Yeah, you're on all fours crawling through the ocean.
Oh my
Um,
God. Anyways, moving on. If you could go back and relive 1 year in college, what year would it be and why? And it could be anything, not just lacrosse related.
you go first.
Sophomore year fall.
Yep, a
Yup. The
thousand
thing is
percent.
though, we could really get into it, but I can't get into it. It was
Yeah.
so much fun. I was in the best shape of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, that was such a good semester. So COVID
Sophomore
ruined
year
it.
as a whole would have been the best year ever, but it got ruined by COVID. The fall was just so good. Um,
If you were there, you
our
get it.
our triple apartment on South, nothing will beat that. Actually, Ackerman and Fellows obviously come close, but just something
Yeah.
about that triple apartment on South. And
It was
also
nuts.
sophomore year, like you don't have as much responsibility because you're not a freshman anymore. Like obviously you still gotta help and carry the balls
Well,
and
I would
all that
debate you
stuff.
have more responsibility and more like
I
to
feel like it's
blame.
more responsibility in a way that like you have to like you're helping the freshmen know like their role and what to do, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Um, but like school wise, doesn't matter. Like you're not starting your career. Like you have till junior year to really nail down your major. Like if you don't know it sophomore year, you're fine. That's not the end of the world. If you don't know
Yeah.
what you want to do after college, you're fine. Sophomore year, you're sort of just like chilling. Um, but yeah, boy oh boy, sophomore year it was so good. I missed that. Wow.
So much fun.
I guess second to that, since COVID ended it, I'd probably say my 5th year. We just really messed around. I mean, all the years, freshman year is good because it's freshman year, but once you get into the thick of it and really get that routine and those friend groups and you're living off campus, living in
It's all
Ackerman,
fun.
living in Fellows, nothing will
It's,
ever compare to that. It's just not the same.
it's all a good time though. It really
Yeah,
is.
every year is a great time. 5th year was just nice because I didn't have school.
Yeah,
I
you
was
can speak for
literally
yourself with your 5th year.
I did absolutely nothing except play lacrosse, which is the dream. That's what I wanted to do, and I did that. And so we were just, if it was nice out, we were playing basketball, we were riding bikes, riding scooters. We literally did whatever we wanted. Not Meg, but that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds like it was a really good time.
All right. Who was a better roommate? And what would Meg Tyrell eat for dinner?
I feel like someone we know asked this
Oh, for
question.
sure. Someone asked,
Um,
has your car ever gotten stolen in college?
that's a
So,
story
and
for another time.
yeah. So, who asked
Also, it
that?
wasn't me, it was her. Um, who is the better roommate between what? Like between who? Like me and you?
Yeah.
Which
We're so
year?
different.
I don't
Like,
create any like
Meg
mess.
is on a need to know basis. Um, she like I don't know, we're so different. I will have get the plan set for like, guys, it's Friday I want to do this. We're doing this. Saturday, let's do this. The day will come and I'll just tell Meg, like, all right, this is what we're doing. She'll just get up, get dressed, and there we go. But we are literally so different. I wake up early, I'm getting after it, getting my day started, whatever it is, cleaning, running errands, working out, I don't know, just doing something. Meg doesn't operate like that. We're very different.
I don't one, I need sleep. I do. And I wake up and I'm like, all right, let's see what the day is gonna bring. What am I gonna do today? And then Meg would just be like, oh, we're going here. And I'm like, okay, and I go.
Yeah.
And I don't see that as an issue. I don't
No,
see
not
that
at
as a
all.
problem. I just think I'm very go with the flow, you
Yeah.
know? And it's probably better that it's this way because if we were both, let's do this, but not agreeing what we're doing,
Yeah.
maybe we wouldn't be friends, you know?
Yeah, it could
So
have been bad if we were like both like I'm so type A. And if we both were that way, like I love an itinerary and I would make one every day if I could. And if we were both like that and we weren't agreeing on what we wanted to do, but we were both like so like set on doing something and we didn't agree, then that would have caused issues. So it's good that you're just go with the flow.
yeah. So I guess it depends on how you look at that. But I will also say that I don't leave kitchen mess. So
And so that gets us into the next question. She doesn't leave the kitchen a mess because she doesn't cook, she doesn't do anything in the kitchen. So you can't make it a mess if you're not doing anything in there.
that is not true. For like a small portion of that, that's not true. I just don't like if I cook my own chicken, I have to chop it up into a million pieces because I feel like I don't cook it all the way through, which I never really do that. But if I was wanting chicken, that'd be the issue. I went through a really big quesadilla phase. I don't know if you remember
Yeah.
that. Really
Yeah.
big one. So I use like one pot, one pan, pasta
Yeah,
or
pasta.
sandwiches. I love
What are like your
sandwiches.
staples?
What were my staples?
Yeah, butternut squash in the fall.
Stop. Butternut squash from Trader Joe's.
I
Their
can't eat that
raviolis.
without thinking of you.
They're phenomenal. I still eat them. They're in my freezer right now.
Of course they
Love
are.
them. Um, what else would I eat?
She tried to make gnocchi one time.
Oh God, don't bring this up. It's
Really botched it. Really botched it.
so I bought 3 bags of cauliflower gnocchi from Trader Joe's and I cooked, boiled, fried, whatever it was, all the bags. So the first one didn't work. It was like too mushy. The other ones were rocks. And the third one, I was like, third time's the charm. Was not. Threw it out, never bought it again. Because honestly, it probably wasn't even that good. It probably wasn't. So,
Who was making pasta and put cinnamon in it or red pepper flakes? They thought it was red pepper flakes but put cinnamon. I think it was Kara.
oh, that's Kara and Jay. It was one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. That was foul.
What else were your staples?
um,
Oh my god, pizza rolls
that was more like,
after going out or like a weekend.
yeah, but that was more like freshman sophomore year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just ate whatever. Um, oh my God, the Julian salad
Oh my
from
god.
Grab and Go.
You lived off of that.
I did. I probably would still eat it to this day. Like
Oh my god.
the balsamic dressing in there is ridiculous. So good. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of would do whatever. I went through that like chicken pesto mozzarella log phase in Fellows. Do you remember?
log.
Oh, so it was like the mozzarella log from Trader Joe's. So I just like,
Oh yeah.
yeah. I would go through phases of food. That was really it. And I don't really have like the widest of horizons. So it all seemed pretty bland if you look at Miss Chef here. But
Yeah, we're
I
just
liked
very
it.
different in every aspect of our living
Yeah. Yeah.
lifestyle.
But it's
But
fun though.
yeah, keeps things interesting. Um, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah. So if you haven't had the butternut squash from Trader Joe's, the raviolis, go get them. They are
Run.
so good. They are
They
so good.
actually are so good. But yeah, we are very different roommates, so now here we are across the world.
Across the
Across the
world.
so far after 4 years of living together, we are now very far from each other.
This is a depressing note to end on. I don't really love that.
Well, we got a full slate of games coming up on Saturday, so we'll be back
Super,
next week.
super, super exciting. Make sure you guys submit some questions. We would love to hear more from you. Some opinions from this podcast. We want to know what you guys think as well. And if there's anyone else that you want us to tune into or something you want to bring to our attention, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, and
Love it.
if you have any suggestions of any guests that we should have on,
Oh, we almost forgot.
we almost forgot. We'll end there. We are going to be having a guest on the show, current players, starting next week.
With
Maybe the week after. We don't know. You'll have to wait and see. It'll be a fun little surprise. We're open to suggestions of who we should have on, though. So if you got anyone in mind, comment on our Instagram, comment on here, put it in the question box. However, DM us. Let us know who you think we should have on the show.
Yeah, let us know because we have some pretty exciting guests in mind. We've reached out. We're really excited about this. I think you guys are going to love it. And yeah, we're really looking forward to next week. So make sure you guys tune in when we come back and recap week 3 of women's college lacrosse. See you
All
guys.
right. Bye.